Almost 50 years ago, in 1975, my brother and I flew to the USA and landed in Los Angeles and winged it from there, having little idea as to what we would do next. So what happened? Well, let's find out. We decided to drive Route 66 in the direction of Los Angeles to Chicago. So we bought this 1961 Ford Thunderbird for $150 US. By April 16th, 1975, we had reached Las Vegas. Las Vegas was a very different city back then compared with what it's like today. There weren't very many high-rises, and most of the hotels were fairly basic. There wasn't a lot of traffic congestion either, so Arthur and I pulled over for a bite to eat, walked around the town a bit, and we just wanted to visit a small casino, as we'd never seen one before. We didn't know about the Strip back then, and that's why we didn't visit it. From Las Vegas we decided to head out to Boulder City and Hoover Dam, which is only about an hour's drive. Bypassing Henderson, we carried on. We passed a desert dust storm which we'd never seen before. It's a great scenic route, and we stopped for a photo shoot at the Lake Mead Recreational Centre. The scale of the mountains was truly impressive, and we could tell we were nearing the dam site from the power lines, and also from the telltale pylons. Myself being an electrical engineer and Arthur being a radio technician, we decided to have a good look around the power station.
If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best, and get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. So get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis and Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, then Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino. Won't you get
Leaving the Hoover Dam, we should have taken Route 93, but in actual fact we took Route 95. This resulted in us going through the small town of Searchlight. Searchlight's population today has dropped off to a mere 278 people. Shortly after, we crossed the state line into Arizona and headed to Needles and joined Interstate 40 and drove on to Kingman. In Kingman we called up our friend Jack Parr. He invited us to his home and we had the opportunity to check out our car as well. He gave us some fuel additives to help us on our way. In 2024 his house is still there. The next day we continued on Route 66, passing through Peach Springs. For some reason we pulled over to the Cavern Inn and took a photo. 49 years later, the pile of rocks and the sign are still there. From Peach Spring we continued up to the South Rim. We filled up with petrol near Ash Fork. Petrol back then was only 13 cents a litre.
and get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. So get your kicks on Route 66.
From the South Rim, we went back down Highway 64 and branched off at Highway 180. From there, we went through Flagstaff and carried on to Holbrook, where we stayed overnight. The next day, we headed off to the Painted Desert and the Petrified Forest, and then continued our way on Route 66.
The highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. 'Cause it winds from Chicago to Santa Monica, LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis and drop in Missouri. St. Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo. Then Gallup, New Mexico. When you made that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Come on and get your kicks and Route on 66. Get your kicks on Route 66.
So why the sudden interest in digging up the past, which was 49 years ago? Well, it's not because I've turned into a woman, although I have been there and done that, but that's another story. No, it's because in a month's time we'll be repeating some of the adventures you've just seen. So what are these adventures, and who is this mysterious we? Well, stay tuned and find out. In late May, we plan to fly into Las Vegas from Fairbanks. On board will be myself, two Teresas, a Chris and a Bev. Then the idea is to stay in the Luxor Hotel. The Luxor Hotel is a pyramid. This is MGM's answer to the pyramids in Giza in Egypt, so it saves us a trip there. Within the hotel grounds is a Sphinx, so this will be a great photo opportunity. And by the way, here's the real one. As you would expect, the interior of the Luxor Hotel is impressive. And the rooms don't seem too bad either, all for $100 per person per night, NZ dollars. Luxor Hotel is located on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is also known as the Strip, and it's at one end of the Strip. A monorail runs the length of the Strip, and hopefully we might take the monorail to get to the points of interest. A ticket is $15 for the day. There's lots of things to do. Perhaps we might visit Paris, maybe we'll see the Brooklyn Bridge, and so on. From Las Vegas we'll pick up our rental car from Thrifty, a Jeep, and we'll head to the Hoover Dam. That's about an hour's drive. By the way, the red route is the route that Arthur and I took in 1975, and the blue route is the route that we propose to take for myself, Teresa, Bev and Chris. From the Hoover Dam we'll go to the west rim of the Grand Canyon. From the west rim we'll join Route 66 and drive part of that to Seligman, and we'll stay in the historic Route 66 Hotel. The next day the idea is to go up to the south rim and then cross over to Flagstaff and then go to the Meteor Crater. Now in my trip notes in 1975 we actually passed the Meteor Crater turnoff, but for some reason, which I can't remember, we never went to the Meteor Crater, so this will be a first for me. From the Meteor Crater we'll probably go to the Petrified Forest and the Painted Desert, and we'll stay over in Holbrook, the same place as we stayed when Arthur and I were there. But this time, because we've got more funds, we'll be staying in a wigwam, hopefully. From Holbrook we'll drive up to Monument Valley, made famous by the various John Wayne movies. We'll stay a couple of nights in this area, and then we'll go over to Antelope Canyon. After overnighting in Antelope Canyon, we'll drive back to Las Vegas, where we'll go back to the Luxor Hotel again and drop off our car, spend a day there, and then fly back to Auckland. So I'm looking forward to going back to Las Vegas once again and having lots of fun with my friends. But why did I go back there the last time? Well, it was to meet some of the actors from a television series called Star Trek. Well, that's it from me, and I hope to see you in a future episode of Las Vegas.
Our speed is now maximum, sir.
All decks, Lieutenant.
All deck standing by, sir.